Hello, my friends. How are you? Hiker Dave here. Hope everyone's doing well. I gotta tell you the full story of what happened here. I am sitting in the same forest that I had a very strange happening, if that's what you want to call it. It was only a few hundred yards that way, and something hit me, or pushed me, or fell on me, or something. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I can at least tell you, explain what happened. This was only a couple days ago. So I was out here hiking a side of this forest. I'm very familiar with this backside here, and I hike often back here. Not so much on this side of the creek. It's a dry creek bed now, but normally where I'm standing would be a few feet of water. And so I was making a video of different, like some new stuff I was seeing. I was seeing new tree breaks, specifically breaks. And I noticed right away when I was hiking out that way that there was something blocking my trail, which I don't remember from before. But I hadn't hiked out that way in a little bit. So as I hiked out there, I'm talking to the camera, the phone, and ooh, thunder. Supposed to get some rain. I'm gonna end up being right in it. Spooky, creepy though to hear the thunder. So I'm hiking, and the trail kind of turns. And as I make that turn, now we're talking eighth of a mile in, maybe further. I'm saying from this spot, I start to hear movement off to my right, and I'm like, and that happens. You hear stuff in the woods. And I had said multiple times, "Hey bear, hey bear." I'm yelling, "Hey bear," and it was such an obvious sound that I'm like, "Hey bear, I can hear you." I'm like speaking out, saying, I'm listening to you right now, bear." And I don't know what it was. I didn't see anything. I'm assuming it was something heavy. If it was a deer, I think it would have ran away pretty quickly, but I don't know. So I'm hiking, and I keep on having my attention drawn to my right side, off into the woods, like I don't know, maybe 20, maybe 40 feet, 50 feet from me, 40 feet. And I'm like, okay. And as it happens often, you guys that are familiar with my channel, when I go on hikes, I hear stuff, and I'm not saying, "Oh my goodness, that was Bigfoot." I don't do that kind of thing. And so I'm hearing stuff, and then I'm seeing these breaks that are totally foreign to me that I haven't seen before. And one of them was like twisted. And if you want to go back to that video, I'll put it in the description below the video. It was one of the videos I had just came out with. And the trail started to really close in, like really overgrown. And I thought, I'm going to come back to this area, but I need a machete to hike through, because just beyond where the trail was kind of closing in with the foliage is a field. And then you take a right on that field and you kind of follow the wood line, and it goes back into the woods again, and the trail continues for another couple miles or whatever it is. So I said, all right, I got to come back with a machete. I'm not going to bushwhack through this spot where the trail closes in, because I don't have the tools to bushwhack anyway. So I said, I'm going to go, I'll return with a machete. So I turned around, was making my way back that same trail. And again, excuse me, again, I'm hearing that again. Now it's on my left, and I'm hearing those sounds. And I'm like, "Oh, hey bear, hey bear." I yelled it. And now I'm starting to feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying what it was. I don't know what it was. I didn't see anything. So I'm like, "Hey bear, hey bear." And then I just continued like I normally do on one of my hikes. I don't pay much mind to it, or at least I portray that in the video, that I'm not paying much mind to it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about it constantly. And so I'm walking. I'm about probably 100 yards from this dry creek bed. I don't know, give or take. And as I'm walking, I'm holding my gimbal. It's got the phone on it. I've got a walking stick. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I didn't hear anything approaching. I didn't hear anything falling. Something hit, banged into my shoulder. I dropped the gimbal. The phone falls out. My walking stick hits the ground. My hat is on the ground. And I'm turning and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what was that? Now, I glanced down at my phone and it showed that it's recording. I can see now that it's recording. And I'm like, oh, but man, I wonder if I caught anything on camera. And I'm talking to you guys, to the viewers. I'm like, something just hit me. I don't know what it was, if it was a branch. And I'm looking around on the ground. There's nothing around me on the ground. And I'm kind of stunned. I'm like, what was that? And so I pick up my stuff off the ground. I'm looking behind me. I'm looking all around. Now where this happened, it's a really closed in part of the trail. I can't really see more than 5 feet this way or 5 feet that way. But I didn't hear anything. I figured it had to be a branch of some sort. Like, it hit me pretty solid, but it felt a cross between, like a push, like the momentum pushed me forward. I think if it fell from the tree, I would have that downward. It felt like a forward. Whatever hit me pushed me forward enough where my hat fell off. I dropped my walking stick. I dropped the gimbal, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, what was that? And so I pick up my phone and I'm talking. And then as I'm still recording video, or I thought, the screen just goes blank. I'm like, all right, what is going on? So I'm looking around, I'm picking up my stuff off the ground, and I'm close to that spot where there's a branch blocking the path. And I'm thinking in my mind, did something block that? Did something put something in that trail so I would turn around? I don't know. Now, I'm not saying, you guys, that Bigfoot threw something at me or pushed me or was responsible for what happened. I'm just stating the facts of what happened. I wish it was simple enough to where that I had like bark on my shoulder or leaves where I could see something on the ground where obviously I got hit by a branch. There's none of that. There was nothing obvious that would indicate what hit me in the shoulder. Very strange, you guys. So now I'm scared of this spot where this was my comfort spot. For some reason, on this dry creek bed, on the other side where that happened, I always feel different over there. This side over here, generally, not every time, but most of the time, I'm pretty comfortable. My gifting rock, where I have the marble experiment going on, is not far that way. And now I was talking to my son this morning, and I'm like, I'm afraid. Now I'm like, I used to hike by myself all the time. Then I started hiking with Gary, a friend of mine, on his back 40, about an hour from where I live, an hour north. And I got used to having a hiking partner, and I was nervous about hiking alone. Recently, I kind of came back to it, and I was comfortable again hiking alone. Well, now, since that occurrence, whatever that was, now I'm second guessing myself again and I know it's so simple. Everybody hikes alone all the time. It happens. I mean, everybody does it, and it's not a big deal, and it shouldn't be a big deal. I shouldn't feel this way. Now, I feel like I've digressed, and I'm back to when I started hiking down this trail to get to this spot. I'm like, why am I nervous? Why do I feel fear? That's just not a normal, that shouldn't be a normal reaction to hiking a beautiful wooded area. Fear should not come into play unless you see a bear or a mountain lion. Then I understand, but not when there's nothing visually. I don't see anything that would make me nervous, and yet here I am. I'm nervous sitting here. I'm looking around constantly because what happened scared me. I hadn't been that scared since what happened to me a couple days ago over there. I haven't been that afraid since Bald Mountain. And so if you don't know, I had an occurrence on Bald Mountain where somebody stepped out behind me. I didn't know it. I never saw it until I was looking at my phone, making a video, and the person stepped out on the trail behind me, and I never saw it in real time until someone commented on the video and said, "Hey, who the heck is that?" And very odd, but what led up to that with that person behind me, I had things thrown at me, and I said, "That's it, I'm leaving, I'm out of here." I was scared. I pretty much ran down Bald Mountain. I couldn't get out of there quick enough. That same feeling came over me the other day when I had that happen to me. And I don't like that feeling. It's uncomfortable. This is supposed to be this is my place of comfort. This is where I tell people it heals my soul when I'm out in nature, or whatever. I don't know how to explain that, but I've said that before, that it's such a good feeling being out in the woods, and I don't want that to be ruined. You know, I've had people, say in my comments, "What would you do if you saw a Bigfoot?" If I had an encounter, I don't know what I would do, but I know one thing: it would destroy me if I had an encounter and it scared me so much that I never went in the woods again. That's my fear, not seeing a Sasquatch, but the aftermath. What would happen to me psychologically? Would I never go into the woods again? I pray that that doesn't happen. I I would hope that if I saw a Sasquatch, it would just enhance my curiosity, but I don't know. But I felt like I needed to make this video to explain what happened to me, because the video just stopped. I thought for sure I was going to have video of the phone tumbling and me freaking out and going, "What was that?" And I might have used some foul language at some point, and I don't know, but I thought maybe with the tumbling of the phone, I would catch something in that, like, because it happened so quickly that I thought maybe I would catch something. But no, the video just stops. As I'm hiking, as I'm walking, the video just cuts out. Frustrating, because I thought maybe I would catch something. But anyways, I wanted to explain to you guys, because I'm getting some questions in the comments and stuff like that. No, there's no bruising. I don't have any cuts or anything on my shoulder. There's no visible damage, although I'm a little damaged mentally because of what happened. I can't explain it. I wish I knew what happened, because then I'd be a lot more comfortable out here in the woods if I knew what happened, but I'd like to write it off, excuse me, as a branch. I wish. And it wasn't something like an acorn. It was the area that covered my shoulder was wide. Hey, bear. And so I could tell a little acorn from something wide, and it was like pressure. It wasn't a tap or anything. It was pressure enough that it jolted me to drop everything. My hat fell off. I can't explain it. I wish I could, but I wanted to make this kind of a follow-up. I made a follow-up of what happened that same day, and I was booking it out of here. I couldn't get out of here quick enough. It's like a 4-minute and 20-second video. It was right after that happened, but I wasn't able to describe it the way I wanted to. That's why I wanted to be clear with this video on exactly what happened, what I was feeling at the time. Very odd, guys. Hiking alone. There is pros and cons, and I think that the pros outweigh the cons. I really do. I love the solitude. I love being able to hike alone, because I can stop and look at something, or I can stop anytime I want and sit down and smoke a butt and get something to drink. Where when you're with somebody, you kind of feel a slight, or at least I do, feel a little bit of pressure to kind of keep moving. And I don't know. But that incident, I don't know. It's had an effect on me already. It's only been a couple of days, and I'm nervous sitting out here. And that's not fair, man. It's not right. I'm bummed out about it. I do want to know what happened. I wish, again, I wish I was with somebody that could have seen what hit me. But then again, I think possibly if I was with somebody, it wouldn't have happened. I mean, I was carrying protection, so it's not like I was unprepared, but I was not prepared for that. I wasn't prepared for what happened. Very strange, guys. So there's my explanation of what happened. I do appreciate you guys clicking. I wicked appreciate the comments. I just wish I could explain it, and I can't. I can't explain it, guys. Something weird. And that's that. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking. I really do appreciate it, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.